Hello! What is it? Today is Saturday, May 11th, 2019. And yeah, uptime doesn't work until the stream starts, or like until a couple minutes after for whatever reason. I don't understand how Twitch works. But yeah, it's May 11th, 2019, and what else do I usually say when I start? I don't remember. Last time I went over my experience at PyCon 2019. And I also started working on a bug in pre-commit. Didn't quite... I mean, I've got it working, but I'm still not quite sure that my patch is correct. But basically, on Linux and Python 3, I couldn't reproduce this on any other platform, but for whatever reason on Linux and Python 3, you Control-C while Git is running, it doesn't run any of the cleanups, which is problematic. I made this kind of hacky patch to rejigger the keyboard interrupt handler, and it mostly worked. Did not work on Windows, as we found out, but no, kind of got that working here. It's yeah. I don't know, I'm still not happy with this patch. I feel like there's something I'm missing, and so I'm gonna do some more research into that, probably offline, but anyway, that's what we worked on last time. I ended up splitting out this part into a separate pull request because this part is like not non-controversial, like better messaging when keyboard interrupt happens. But anyway, that's what we did last time. There's a pull request that came in from someone in chat, actually, which I've been looking through, which will add some nice warning messages when people mess up their configuration. But I need to address this, and I'll do that later. But yeah, so one thing that I wanted to talk about today, and then eventually fix, is the the problematic rollout of the library pluggy, which happened the day after PyCon, or the day after PyCon for me. I guess it was Tuesday. Some people were still sprinting during that day. But we rolled a release of this library, which was part of the changes that I was making to improve the startup and runtime speed of PyTest. But unfortunately, it broke some people, and I'm going to go into details about like what I changed and why it was problematic and why we eventually reverted it. First, we'll look at the pull request, which I actually wrote on stream a while back. Here it is. Starky Blood says, "Hey, I'm new to Python and I have a basic understanding. Is there anything you can recommend to improve my Python?" Yeah, sure. So if you haven't gone through like the like some of the tutorials online, I would suggest going through those. Those are always good to practice. The one that I have sent people to a bunch is learnpython.org. It's not great, it's pretty good, but it goes over like some of the basics and jumps into some more advanced stuff. Some of the tutorials aren't great. Like I know the like string formatting one is a little bit dated because it's still like showing the % formatting, and it doesn't talk about dot format or f strings or any of the nice things that exist now. But it's a pretty good one. Learnpython.org. What was the other one? Learn Python Basics. Oh, the Code Academy course is pretty good. I think this one's still free. Wow, 4.7 million people have taken this course. This one is pretty good, if I remember right. The other thing that I would suggest when you're learning something is to practice it as much as possible. I think the best way for me practicing is to like come up with a project to work on and just hack through that and get that going, so to speak. I always find that I learn best when I'm actually learning something so that I can accomplish something, and that just kind of helps me a lot. Making Python-based games have helped me learn a lot with the basics. Yeah, makes sense. Like, build something and that'll help you learn. But yeah, check those out, see how those are going. Let me get back to this. Yeah, so the original change that I was making to pluggy was to switch from package resources, which is the way that setup tools does lookup, to importlib-metadata to gain some speed. And the reason that package resources is slow, I can kind of show that a little bit. Package resources. So package resources is implemented as this module, and so, or this package, I guess. And when you import it, it does a bunch of work at the module scope. This is weird. I don't know why it does that. Here's the part where it builds the... It basically iterates all of your packages that are on sys.path and builds some state in memory about them. And so it basically reads a bunch of file system state, which is pretty slow. Where is that thing set? Yeah, so this initialize master working set gets called as a module import time side effect, and it does all this sys.path iteration. And it's pretty slow, and like just having the import of package resources in your application can slow down its startup time by 100 to 300 milliseconds. And so pluggy currently is using package resources, and before this PR was using package resources. And I wanted to factor that out for the faster importlib-metadata library. And so I wrote this PR, which basically swapped the internals from package resources to importlib-metadata. Not in this file. This file is not important. It's just the docs configuration. But here I had to shim the importlib-metadata distribution to look like the package resources one, but basically changed this loading method to the importlib-metadata loading method. And that worked well. The test passed, and I also made a change in PyTest to make those tests pass as well. But we ended up finding some problems here. And I'll get to those in a second. This running, project-based learning, try and determine a project you want to accomplish, start working on a small component, then go back to tutorial and course if you're stuck, and then go back to a project. Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, so I prepared this pull request, all the tests are passing, all that was hunky-dory. Then I also made a PyTest pull request, which incorporated those changes, but made PyTest pass as well. Where is that? This one. Now, of course, it looks like the tests fail in CI because this patch required the newest version of importlib-metadata to work properly. But I was able to basically get a 21% speed up on PyTest execution, which was pretty good. And I got all those tests passing. Hey, what's up, B? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so I got these tests passing. Everything looked like it was good to go. We discussed in this PR. When we wanted to do a release. I was at PyCon, so I was pretty busy, so I didn't want to release while I was at a conference and not able to address things that could or would have come up at the release, because this was a big change for pluggy, and I was pretty sure and like ominously sure that something might go wrong, and so I wanted to be around when the release was made. So we set up to do this release on Tuesday, and that was all good. Bruno was jealous that we were at PyCon, and everything from there went pretty well. then what happened next is we released this. Where's the release for that? We made the release and rolled it out. Yeah, so we rolled it out on at 5 a.m. my time on the 7th. I was sleeping, so that was fine. And then within a few hours, an issue came in that the new importlib-metadata stuff was breaking Travis CI. And the unfortunate bit here was this particular error here, package not found error, which was caused by a lookup inside of eggs, which, if you're not familiar with what eggs are, Python eggs. They are a very, very old, crufty piece of the Python packaging ecosystem. They're kind of a precursor to wheels. The basic idea is that you used to kind of zip up your code and redistribute that zip of code, but not extract it, just that zip, and Python would import it on sys.path. And eggs still get used, unfortunately. And the most common use that they get used for is in setup.pytest, which is a way for people to do setup tools-based testing in their Python packages. And I didn't know that importlib-metadata didn't support this, and I didn't expect that people still used this type of testing. Because for the most part, people have switched from setup.py based code to talks.ini or just invoking pytest directly. But it did break stuff. So we found this error, and we realized that the root cause is that importlib-metadata doesn't support eggs, and then as soon as I could, we basically reverted the change, and yeah, a shame that we still have to support eggs in 2019. Yeah. So then I reverted the change and made a release, which ended up fixing the problem there. But yeah, so there was like, I don't know, around 3 or 4 hours of time where people could not install or could not use pytest on the latest versions when installing from eggs. And so that's unfortunate, but what I want to do today is work on fixing importlib-metadata so that it can support this use case and so that I can roll forward this change again and hopefully still be able to get the speed ups that I want to get out of pytest. See. B says, I was checking this issue. Which is this? Oh, the new debug f-strings. I cloned future f-strings and then I started implementing new Python ast.c find f-string find expr. When it came to start tests, it just said syntax error encoding problem. Are there extra steps for development? Yeah. So the unfortunate bit about future f-strings, I mean, it's a glorious hack. Do I have it cloned? I do. So let's say we just started from a clean install. So the first thing you have to do is set up a virtual environment, and I mean, you don't have to set up a virtual environment, you could do it some other way. The problem with the way future f-strings works is an editable install will not work. How can I show that? Pip install pytest. An editable install will not work because of the way that the encoding gets registered. So if I try to do pytest tests future f-strings test, we'll get that same syntax error, unknown encoding future f-strings. But if we pip install dot instead, That'll set up the little encoding hook that makes this stuff work. Yeah, with terrible path files. And so that installation is enough to set up this this path file here, which registers the encoding. And that's how this terrible thing works. I think if I remember right, you can editable install after that, maybe? No. How can I develop without reinstalling again and again? Well, what you could do is something terrible like this, where I think if you copy this to dot, does this work? No. If you copy this path file into your virtual env, it works. It's not great. Oh wait, no, that doesn't even work either. What? Hey, what's up, WellR? Well-AUR. Thank you for the follow. Every follow counts. Why doesn't that work? Oh, I know why. So the reason that doesn't work is the way editable install works is it uses this PTH file, easy install.pth. And since this PTH file doesn't run before this PTH file does, it can't import it properly. So honestly, your best bet is probably pip install .nodeps and pytest tests. What do you mean no module name tokenize RT? Oh. Dot. That's because I did no deps, right? Dot rewrite. Yeah, so it's a little unfortunate. You have to basically take a hit on the pause here. Oh, it takes a whole second just to do a no-op install. That's kind of annoying. Can't even speed it up. Anyway, yeah, it's not great, but that's how I developed it. Or you can use Tox to run it, and Tox will automate doing that setup for you. It'll reinstall when it needs to, which is every time basically. So like we'll get another run there. But yeah, that's how I developed on it. It is pretty painful. Use a make file with a make run that installs. Yeah, that would work too. Tox actually does that for you automatically though, so it's, you don't really need to do that, but yeah, that'd be one way to do that. But yeah, sorry this thing is such a hack. It doesn't really work that well. I mean, the library works really well, but the development is painful. But yeah, so what I want to do today is, let me +1 this, get our 4.5 release out. What happened here? Warning is now emitted when unknown marks are used as a decorator. Cool. Show the exfil reason in JUnit. Awesome. Messages from crash reports are displayed within the test summary. Oh yeah. Strict markers. This is the replacement for strict. Cool. Assertion failures for sequences contain the number of different items. Oh, that's so good. This is sometimes really painful, like debugging assertion errors which have two different mappings or lists, but now we can see the difference in numbers. Improve reporting. I don't know what that's about, but that's fine. Cache show now has a glob. Neat. Can pass standard in. Cool. Like a lot of small things. We expanded our warning classes, I remember that. Or a lot of small features, I guess. Default longing format has been changed to improve readability. Here's an example of the previous. Oh yeah, way better. Nice. And then bug fixes. And internal changes. Cool. Deleted all the changelogs. Nice. Oh look, I contributed to this. What happened here? Why did it add lines here? Oh, that's just the doc. I'm basically just scrolling through this to make sure it looks alright. And then I'll +1, and then we'll be good to go. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get my change into 4.5, but the way things go, I guess. Oh, this patch is so long. Yeah, I looked through some of it. Good enough. Ship it. Weird, the code cover is clearly incorrect. Coverage was posted before Travis even started. What? Code cover, what are you doing? Get down from there. Yeah, so the plan for today is to work on the... where is that? Is to work on the importlib-metadata issue here. And fix that. Related merge request. Oh, did someone already do this? Well, if somebody already did this, then I guess I won't have to. Oh, it's already merged. Well, never mind. I guess it works already. Let me try their master build and see if that works. If that's the case, we'll work on something else today. You can add a test to pluggy. Yeah, I could. I mean, it's not really a problem with pluggy. It's more of a problem with the underlying library, though. So I have to use old school setup. Name equals 2, version equals 0. And then I have to use the old style of installation also. Python setup.py install. And that makes this site packages. That makes this egg info file, which contains the metadata in it. And that's what I was breaking before. So pip install git lab. I think that's the URL, hopefully. Nope. Clearly not if it's asking for importlib_metadata. Why would we be consistent? Oh, 0.12, did they make a release already? Metadata. Oh, they did, so maybe it's already fixed in the release version too. Well, that's cool. That works. So maybe, let me try the release version. That's not what I wanted. I wanted foo. Okay. Seems to work in O.11. There's one other way that this can end up manifesting, which is the installation of actual eggs, because I don't think this actually made an egg. Yeah, like we got egg info, but well, it didn't have any files. Let me. Can't uninstall food. Is distutils installed package, and thus we cannot accurately determine which files belong to it. True. Did that make an egg? It did not. I don't know what's going on here. Pip install dot dash dash egg? Is that a thing? Let's see. Pip install as an egg. How does one install egg files? I could have sworn there was a way to install as an egg. Maybe that's only old pip? Okay, so old pip you could use pip install dash dash egg. Install packages as eggs, not flat, like pip normally does. Oh, pip normally installs flat. Okay. This option is not about installing from eggs. Warning, because this option overrides pip's normal install logic, performance files may not behave as expected. Okay, so we ended up with an egg this time. Importlib-metadata dot version foo. Okay, so eggs still don't work. Is that what was happening here, though? Yes, it looks like yes. Okay, so then things are still broken. Lib metadata. Can ignore dot eggs. Do they use setup.pytest? No, they use SCM. Okay. I wonder when dash dash egg was removed from pip. I guess I can just search on GitHub. Nope, not that one. What was this one about? Oh, it's the same PR that we saw before. Remove the deprecated egg flag in 2017. Okay, so it landed in pip 10. This hasn't been a thing for a while, however setup tools can still do it. I bet easy install will make eggs. Probably what I want. The major downside or the major improvement between easy install and pip is pip can uninstall things, but this is how you have to uninstall for easy install. You also have to edit this file. Yeah. Easy install dot, is that a thing? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Bruno? How's it going? I'm in the depths of importlib-metadata. Hopefully, so I can get that performance change eventually out, maybe in 4.6. Just passing by, take a look at your streaming. Awesome, sounds good. I'm in a sad place right now, dealing with eggs. This is essentially the... Oh, what? Why does it work now? Maybe it already works? I'm very confused why it works now. This was not working a second ago. Oh, maybe because I have an egg info in that directory? What was it, version? Okay, yeah, definitely not working. Cool. So this is what I'm trying to fix, is easy installed things. This, I think, showed up as a side effect of running easy install dot. At least that's what I'm gonna hope for. Let's see. How do their tests work? Pi27-cov? Are you trying to add support for eggs and import lib metadata? Yes, sadly. I wish I didn't have to, but I think that's basically going to be the only way we'll be able to roll out these pluggy changes without breaking everyone that uses setup.py. I mean, ideally, they wouldn't use setup.py, but I don't think we have any choice in that manner. How do these tests work? Egg info package. We need to actually build an egg, I think. I don't know how their tests work though. So let's look into how their testing suite goes. It looks like they're using unit test to run them. Plus coverage. I don't know why they do it twice. Their tests are fast, so I'm confused how they're actually testing things. I guess we'll see. Oh, their tests are embedded inside here. Hang out now, have fun there. Yeah, fun. As much fun as I can have with eggs. Test data. Okay, it looks like they just check in a wheel here. So I will check in an egg in the same way. Have a good one. Okay, so they have an example package. It looks like I can feedest egg that thing. Feedest egg. Where did it go? Creating example.egginfo. Oh. Okay, so now we have an egg. Oh, but it's a Python 3 egg. Is that gonna work? Maybe? I don't know. Zip archive data. importlib-metadata.tests.data03. What is data03? It looks like a typo. That's weird. Yeah, they don't have a data 03. They have a data. So I suspect their packaging is slightly broken. So I can fix that too. importlib-metadata.tests.data, I think it is. Actually, before I fix it, let's make sure it's broken. Oh goodness. They don't have PyC in here. Or Tox. That's fine. I assume they did that intentionally, but... Quick challenge, make a function that takes two strings S and P and find all substring anagrams of P in S. This is actually an interview question that I used to ask. Substring anagrams of P in S. So, make a function that takes two strings, S and P, and find... Man, it's been so long since I've had to think about anagrams. Oh, I guess the function that we used to ask is like, is anagram. Which is a little bit easier. Which is essentially this one line in Python. But getting people to implement this was often tricky. Find all substring anagrams of P in S. S equals ABC, BCA, P equals ABC. It should return 2. Oh, I see. So you could like, you permute P and then find whether it's in S. Yeah, so... Tools. Greetings, your bed sheets look like carpet. I mean, yeah, they're not a great color. Although I did order new sheets, so I will have blue sheets again soon, so then it won't look like carpet. Permute. Is it permutations? This isn't going to be the most efficient way to do this, but it will be correct. If .join permutation in S yields basically like this. Or did you just want the count? Pokemon bed sheets. Isn't that a sliding window problem? Maybe? Maybe not? I don't know. ABC, was it ABC, BCA? Oh, just the count? I actually think mine is gonna get a larger number. Oh wait, maybe not. No, I think we'll get 2 also. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did I put this file? There we go. Anagram substrings. Oh, I forgot the second argument. Of course. Int is not iterable. Oh, we don't need len anymore. Right, because we're just returning a count now. Oh, so we get 2. I mean, I don't know if it's correct, but it at least works. If we put an A here, what would we get? We get 1, we would get 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we get 5 in that case. We get 3. Shit. Doesn't sound right. Oh, we need like count plus equals s dot count candidate. Maybe. There we go. And we get 5. Because we actually see ABC in this string twice. What was the problem? Jay posted this earlier. Quick challenge, make a function that takes 2 strings, S and P, and find all substring anagrams of P and S. Or the counts. Which actually, we can make it 1 line shorter. By doing that. And if we want to get super cheeky, we could just do return some counts. For perm in iter tools dot permutations p. 1, 2. There's a terrible one-liner solution. But anyway, there's your toy problem. This one isn't an anagram. Sounds like a sliding window. I mean, yeah, this isn't the most efficient way to do this. I just like generate all the permutations and then check them all. But anyway, that's that. Back to my egg problem. Eggs Y. Actually, what was I actually doing? I was seeing if their source distribution builds correctly. Whoa, why does it have all this garbage in it? That seems not right. Also, it's not the right version number. What happened here? Unknown. Oh, I don't have setup tools SCM. Isn't that how it's supposed to? Isn't it supposed to do that automatically? Did I watch Detective Pikachu? I have not seen it yet, so please don't spoil it. I plan to see it tomorrow, if I can find time to do that. It's weird that it zipped up the virtual env also. It seems not right. Oh, maybe... Maybe this manifest.in is the reason for that. Include start.py, all this. Oh, so it probably found these inside. Probably found those inside the virtual env, and that's what's in there. Yeah, so there's just like text files and stuff in here. Okay, so it included the wheel, but that was because of the manifest. I think if I do pip wheel, it won't include it. Pip wheel dot. I wonder if the theaters give you Pokemon cards like the first movie. Let's see. Promo card, Detective Pikachu. Apparently there are promo cards. Are they actual promos though? I don't see them. Like usually they have, oh yeah, they do have the little promo star on them. Following retails will host in-store events where you can get one of the 3 cards. So you go to Walmart, then Target, then GameStop to get these 3 cards. Oh wait, there's more than 3. Where are the other ones? I guess you buy the other ones as expansion packs. Yeah, not at the movie theater, but you can get the promo cards. There's 18. Oh, there's 27 cards. Wow. It's like an entire promo deck. Interesting. I lost my hieroglyphic Mew. I have a bunch of them if you want one. Although they're in Michigan. Ancient Mew Pokemon card. There's such a cool card too. Extremely rare. Yeah, that's bullshit. Oh. We're not super rare.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Some more mail. Got 5 cards.
Look at my mail.
To unveil it like this, because I don't want you to see my tracking information. There it is.
Oh, I have this card.
Holographic Mew promo.
This is not that card though. It's also not that card.
Here. Get out
it's the damn card. I also have this card. That card though.
Near mint condition.
Near mint
Although
condition.
There seems to be someone's hair.
They seal the hair in.
It's not near mint.
It is not first edition. I don't have first edition cards. I had a couple of first edition cards. Energy cards! Woo!
Energy card.
Who cares?
An energy card.
Where's the Ancient Mew?
The Pokemon movie.
Oh, I have this too.
Cards.
I also have this promo card.
Here's a Pikachu product art.
I used to collect so many cards back in the day. We already saw this card.
Played. There might be
None of these are Ancient Mew. I also have this promo card.
Movie and out. So turn this around.
I don't know that one.
New
That was
very
after
similar to the
I stopped.
camera, but the background.
Where's the damn Ancient Mew? There it is. Okay, this is the card.
From a movie.
But I have like, I think I have like 3 or 4 of these. Because I went to the movie a bunch of times.
I'm surprised they haven't made more ancient looking cards.
This is
Kind
such a
of funny
cool
story.
backing.
I used to have 2 of these cards. One was sealed in the package.
I know why they didn't make more of the special backing is because it doesn't work in tournament play. Because if you ever play in tournaments with cards like that, people know exactly what card you're drawing. But yeah, common cards are cool. Yeah, so when you build a wheel, you lose the data there. So they have a bug in their setup.cfg. If I do that and do this, that should fix their package data. Yeah, so now we end up with the wheel in there, which is good. Wait, why didn't the egg end up in there? Oh, I know why. Because I need to add it to manifest.in. These in any sort of order? No. Hey, what's up, Neocortex 1997? How's your Saturday going? Why didn't the egg show up in there? Oh, well, because I didn't include it there. Cool, now we get our egg. Yay. Okay, so we're not gonna ship this git ignore change because apparently they want that for some reason. I don't know why. Metadata tests. Test zip.py. Bespoke loader. Oh shoot. Yeah, so if we add this wheel to the path... Oh, this adds the actual wheel to the path, but I want to add the directory containing the wheel. Okay, so I'll be fine. Okay, so if we copy that to testegg.py. Why is that there? I don't understand. If I comment this out, do the tests fail? No, they don't fail. So I don't think that does anything. Actually, how do eggs even work? Do I have the egg installed? I do. Okay, so it puts the egg onto the path. So we'll need to do essentially the same thing as this test. Actually, instead of copying that test, I can probably just augment that other test. This is garbage. 4ponage BF4. Funny name. I'm curious what you're working on. So, long story. I'm trying to improve the performance of PyTest, and the bottleneck, well, not the bottleneck, but the like low-hanging fruit of trying to fix that is to improve the way that pluggy loads, pluggy, which is the plugin system for PyTest, improve the way that it loads package metadata. And in order to do that, I need to switch from package resources to importlib-metadata. However, last time I rolled this out, I broke everything, which is great. And the reason that it broke everything is that importlib-metadata doesn't support this archaic form of installation called eggs. And so I'm fixing importlib-metadata's handling of eggs. And so that's why I'm working on that. Hey, what's up, Sulfur? It's me, U37J. Yeah, I remember you. You led me down that crazy rabbit hole, where I was dealing with what, base 64 over and over and over. I didn't actually I haven't looked at your news puzzle, but maybe I'll do that once I finish getting this working. So in theory, I should be able to just use the same test as above, but instead of using the wheel, I'll be able to use the egg. Kind of understand it, but I'm pretty new to Python, so it's only on visually understanding the code and everything. Nice. Well, I don't really understand what's going on either, so you and me both. All I know is that eggs are a different way to install Python packages, and they're kind of janky, and I'm basically writing a test first, and then I'll debug why the test is failing and hopefully fix the code to work for there. I made a second puzzle, but I feel like it wasn't ready as I made a few mistakes, but it's already solved. Took them about 5 days. Oh, you have like a Discord or something where you have a bunch of people hanging out and working on that stuff? Sounds cool. Okay, so instead of wheel, egg. Find the path to the example eggs. We can add to the front of sys.path where we'll try to find the metadata. They posted on Reddit, so they made a Discord server which actually got about 100 people, but only 30 were active. So those who were lurking got kicked. Thanks. Okay, so I should have failing tests now, which is good. Package not found. Perfect. Now we need to figure out why wheels are not working. Interesting that they have tests for all of that, but I don't see anything For wheels, hey, what's up for Ponage BF4? Thank you for the follow. Every follow counts. Planning on making a third puzzle, but it will take a few months for that to be ready, as I want to make each puzzle more and more difficult. I feel like your first puzzle, or the one that I tried, was difficult enough. This is the point where I have to try and understand how this shit works. It's unfortunate. This is the distribution class. Where does that get constructed? Distribution. Name. I wish they would use a code formatter. This is really bothering me. This one parenthesis, like, I would put it here, but this dot metapath. Just empty. I like black too. I don't use it, but I like it. I like the concept. I love code formatters. I've written a bunch of them myself. And I'm happy when other people use black. Because it means that they stop bickering about code and their code style and all that shenanigans. But the reason I like black is it suggests that you use pre-commit. Oh, I guess it's Python/black now. And black uses pre-commit itself, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they have a suggestion here to use it as a version control integration, which is I'm pretty happy about, and it works really well with pre-commit, so I like that too. As far as I can see, the thing making your job hard is Python 2 and Windows, so get rid of them. Python 2 is almost dead. I'm giving free consulting service in Turkey for project and people that needs adoption. I will celebrate 2020 with just deleting every Python 2 code and then stop dealing with those things. Yeah, that's fair. I think, so PyTest is planning to drop Python 2 sooner than 2020. We'll be moving Python 2 support to maintenance only mode, where basically we'll only supply bug fixes to the Python 2 branch. We'll only supply bug fixes to the Python 2 branch and then proceed with features on the main branch. And I think that's scheduled for sometime in June or July. I'm not really sure, but it's soon, hopefully. But I must know what color to paint the bike shed. Yeah. It's so true. People love painting bike sheds. I guess myself included, but I don't know. I have a subset of linters that I'm happy with and formatters that I'm happy with, and I just stick to those mostly. I started to make a small collection of functions that should allow pretty output in a terminal that supports Unicode and ANSI escape sequences. I wanted something aesthetically pleasing to relax. I see. If you're interested in color libraries, what's the big one? Colorama, I think it's called. Still 0 version. The one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, so this handles doing some ANSI escapes. Does it do 256 color ones? I don't remember. ANSI.py. Looks like it doesn't have 256 color support one, or not 256. True color, not true color. What is it called? 24-bit color. What is that called? Is it just called? Oh, it is called true color. That's right. Looks like it doesn't have 24-bit colors, but I know this is the one that's pretty popular in Python. Were you affected by the GitHub hack? Which GitHub hack are you referring to? I don't think I was. I don't know though. GitHub hacked. GitHub hacked for Bitcoins. Oh, yeah, I heard about this. They wipe accounts and then ban Bitcoins. Yeah, I was not affected by this, as far as I know. Oh, wait. Plus, I have like a full clone of all my repos anyway. Or all the ones that I contribute to, so it's easy for me to recover anything that I would lose just by repushing these. And I have copies on this on basically all my computers. Yay, distributed version control systems! But yeah, no, I was not affected by that. But I did find it pretty funny. Like, man, random. I mean ransom. Did they fix the title? Okay, yeah, they did. It's just broken on Google. But yeah, I was not affected by that, fortunately. I guess it wouldn't have been too bad, but close some tabs here. I don't know how this works. Can I use the alpha version of CPython like 3.8.0 alpha 4 in Tox? Yes. So Tox already has discovery support for new versions of Python. So let's say we go to pyupgrade. I actually have packaged Python 3.8. Rep 3.8. So you can see I already have 3.8 and 3.8 alpha 4 installed. And Tox knows how to discover just based on these version numbers here. And so it'll set up and run a Python 3.8 alpha 4 environment for you automatically. And to use that in CI, you have a couple of choices. I don't know if Travis has updated. Let's see, travisci.org, Python 3.8-dev. I don't know if they've updated their 3.8 dev yet. 3.8-dev. This is supposed to represent their like nightly build. I don't know how up to date it is, but that's one way to do it. And on Azure Pipelines, which is what I've been using, Azure Pipelines templates, or what I've been trying to move all my stuff to, you can install Python 3.8 as a step, and so I recommend installing it from Dead Snakes, which is the PPA that I maintain, and this is basically the line to do that for you. Oops, not ace_dead snakes, it's just Dead Snakes. So this is a backport PPA for Ubuntu, where I provide a Python 3.8 alpha 4 package. But anyway, so Python 3.8 is a dead snake. Yeah, so the name has kind of just stayed. It originally was for old versions of Python, but then we started adding new versions because I think like forward ports are arguably a more useful thing than backports are arguably a more useful thing than forward ports, because like being able to run modern versions of Python is super valuable. And like the stars tend to agree, where like the newer versions of Python have more stars than the older versions. But yeah, so the name just kind of stuck around after that, and so we're still called Dead Snakes despite having essentially brand new snakes. But yeah, that's how that works. But yeah, I still don't know how these importers get registered. Maybe it's this hooks file? Oh, I see. So it adds some of these finders onto the path. What is a distribution finder? A degenerate finder. This is so. I have an idea of what this means in my head, but what do they mean by degenerate here? Having lost the physical, mental, or moral qualities considered normal and desirable. See, this is the definition that I understand. Technical, lacking some property. That's probably what it means. So where's the part where it does zips? Oh, so here's where it tries to zip things, I guess? Do those annotations do anything? Which annotations? These ones here? Or... oh, static method? Yeah, static method does some stuff. To show that... don't need this anymore. So what static method and class method do is they allow you to call the methods and have a consistent calling construct here. They're actually descriptor decorators behind the scenes. So you can both call like this, c.static and c.class method. And you can also call them on instances. And so what a static method is it doesn't pass a first argument. So normally, so like normal meth. So normal methods, you set the first argument as self, and the descriptor protocol will insert the self argument into here. A class method changes that up, and instead of passing self, it passes the type of that, and so you get the class in here. And static method just drops the first argument entirely, and so it just calls it as if it were a normal function. And so you can see like these are the three calling constructs here. And when we call that, we get, let's see, so we called the static method first, so it just printed those arguments. Then we called the class method, which printed out the class and then the arguments again. Then we made an instance, then we called the static method again, which is here. Then we called the class method, which again, like, prints out the class properly. Like, this is the class method portion. And then last, we called the normal method, which has self passed in. But yeah, that's how that would work. F strings in Python 2. I mean, you can. Wait, weren't you asking about that earlier, B? Yeah, you were. You totally were. That's what future F strings does. Oh, that's Python 3 still. So you can install this terrible thing, future f-strings, which makes, so this is Python 2. And so we can make this work just by putting this coding cookie at the top. If we don't include that at the top, you would get this. You'd get a syntax error. By putting the coding cookie at the top, it just works. Yay, f-strings! Now you would need from future import print function to make it have exactly the same output as before, but where did, oh yeah, so here's the Python 3 output, here's the adjusted Python 2 output with sneaky future f-strings. But see, basically the same. It works. It's a bit of a mindfuck. So are class methods more useful when using inheritance? Yes. So the most common case that I've used a class method for is kind of a factory function. Get rid of this shenanigans now. Where you have like class method def make. I guess the most common case that I've used it for is for name tables. And so you'll have like a make method which will do return, I don't know, like b equals none, for instance. It'll return class A, B. And so what this gives you is a class method where you can optionally not pass the second argument, or you can pass them as named arguments. So this is like kind of one of the old ways you could make default arguments for name tuples. We run that t.py, oops, I forgot a colon. You can see like I'm able to construct that just by using the make method. But then if you were to like inherit this, you could get the class reference automatically from something else. Also, you could copy and paste this to some other class and you wouldn't have to worry about manually putting the exact class name here. But, I don't know, just one like a tiny tip there. String dot format is a bit verbose. Yeah, I agree. I still prefer it over percent format because there's a couple ways to shoot yourself in the foot. Mindful Fox says, what in the world? Yeah, I mean, future f-strings is pretty nuts. Never thought I would watch a programming live stream a year ago. Well, here you are, man. Such is life, I guess. Wowotech says, what an expert nano user. Yeah. I am pretty good at nano. I do know how to use Vim. I'm not a complete noob, I promise. Although I use the arrow keys like a pleb, but I know how to enter insert mode. I know how to visual mode and do fancy oh, that's not how that works. Fancy sorting and is it cut and, or I guess that's copy and paste, and cut would be D and paste. Anyway, I do know how to use some like basics in Vim, but I do hate myself, I guess. How many words per minute do you get? So we actually tested this on stream a while ago, but the words were just like random words, so it was really hard for me to like keep up. So it was only like 85 words a minute. When I tested like typing out sentences in college, I was able to get around like 110 to 120. But GNU/Emacs, yeah, it's pretty good, P. I do know how to exit Emacs, although I don't think I have it installed. Yeah, I don't have it installed. So funny thing about Emacs is one of the so the maintainer of adders actually I think made this issue. Oh, maybe not. Was it in this or was it in, oops, didn't mean to open that in a new tab. this was reported on Twitter, so apparently I didn't include the original. But the maintainer of adders uses Emacs and was also using seed isort config in adders. Python adders, if I recall correctly, through pre-commit. Yeah, was using seed isort config, and it was breaking their Emacs setting. I did not know how to use Emacs at all, and so I went through this whole like crazy setup to install Emacs and reproduce this bug, and I was able to reproduce it completely breaking this package. And through some fancy debugging, I was able to figure out what the problem was and also fix the issue with just this environment variable. But anyway, I did learn Emacs once just to fix someone's bug report, and that was a pretty crazy town. What did the other maintainer say here? Hopefully just rubber stamp ship it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Okay, yeah. What is this emoji? Fireworks. Okay. It does not look like fireworks. This looks like a boat wheel. Yeah. Anyway. Let's see. Real programmers, here we go. I didn't even know they mentioned Nano in this. That's so good. Can we get a higher res version of this image? No. Okay, well, we'll just zoom in then. Nano, real programmers use Emacs. Hey, real programmers use Vim. Cat. Magnetized needle and a steady hand. Excuse me. Real programmers use butterflies. They open their hands and let the delicate wings flap once. The disturbance ripples outwards, changing the flow of the eddy currents in the upper atmosphere. These cause momentary pockets of higher pressure air to form, which act as lenses that deflect incoming cosmic rays, reflecting them to strike the disk platter and flip the desired bit. Nice. First, there's an Emacs command to do that. Oh yeah, the good old CXMC butterfly. Damn it, Emacs. And the alt text is, oh, it's really small. Real programmers set the universal constants at the start such that the universe evolves to contain the disk with the data they want. Good old XKCD. Do you know power line status? Yes, I do. I don't use Vim or Tmux all that often, so it's not that useful for me. But I have used it before. It is pretty nice, and I like what it does. I just don't. Well, I like to simplify my setup, I guess. Not only Nano, even anything, even brooming or mopping if you're professional, it's always satisfying to see. Cool. Type Racer might be good for you. Yeah, I could do that. Helm. What is Helm? Other than the package manager thing for Kubernetes. Programming. This is the Helm that I know about. Oh, Helm, not a steering wheel on a ship. Oh. I see, yeah. Not shopping. No. Yeah, this thing. This is called a Helm. I see. Which is why the, I get it. So that's why the Kubernetes package manager is called Helm. It's a pun, I see. You knew what I meant, though. Let's see. XKCD is God confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I could believe it. Randall Monroe's is pretty amazing. What am I looking at? Someone checked in node modules. RIP. Why do people think that they should check in node modules? I don't understand. It's weird. Donk. Yeah. I appreciate your simple setup. If you had aliases and such configured, I would have a hard time following what you were doing. I do have a couple of aliases. Not that many, though. But yeah, people have pointed that out before. Like I used to use Control Z more often and just like switch through things real quickly, and people found that confusing. But then I get the other side of the coin where like if I don't use Control C, then people are like, "Come on, man, use Control Z. It's much more efficient." But these are my total aliases. So I alias grep to color auto line buffered. I alias fgrep and egrep to also have color auto, and ls to have color auto. I typo grep all the time, so I have aliased grep to grep, and noun to nano, and babby, which is one character over of nano to nano, which I think is pretty funny. I also have these two aliases, which this one is quote spam because I wanted it to work like this. So you can do cry and it'll just give you a sad face. But you can also do cry -- softly and it'll still give you a sad face. But in order to do that, I needed a subshell. And in order to have a subshell and have the alias be a string, I needed to do like some crazy quote expansion here. But yeah, these are all my aliases. I don't really use much of that other than that. Check in node modules for consistent builds. Yeah, but isn't that what lock files are for? Or private package repos? Maybe? Function rm echo it is forbidden. I think I could get out of that though. I think I can delete files even with this function here. I don't have SL installed. Wait, why is this not? Because that's not the right syntax. That's not the right syntax either? There we go. What was in t.py? Okay, I can get rid of that. So that says is forbidden, but I think I can use bin rm to get around it. So checkmate. Function very rm. Oh, I guess I could have used unlink as well. I only alias rm because I really like deleting things after I cry because I couldn't recover. Yeah. Unset rm. Hey, thank you Neocortex1997 for the bits. You're really cool. Thanks, friend. I actually don't get bits very often, so thank you very much. Ooh, and they show up in the chat too. That's awesome. Get rid of the binary. Oh, that's actually a fun like. Thank you B for the 1 bits. That's actually a fun thing to do in Docker. Docker run rm ti ubuntu bionic. So this is one of the few places where you can actually run rm rf / no preserve root and watch it destroy your system. Every bit counts. Yeah. So now I have a completely broken system where there is not ls, and now what can I actually use? Echo star without quotes. So these are the things that are left on my system after I've deleted everything. I only have 4 bits. Okay, well that means you can only do this 4 times then. But yeah, you can actually like destroy a Linux system and still be running a shell and still kind of like poke around at stuff that's still there. What got left over from Etsy? Oh yeah, these are magical things that Docker sticks in there, so they're not deletable. And the proc file system is still there. What was the other one that was there? I'm using echo as ls, which is pretty great. sys/star. Oh yeah, this is stuff that Docker sticks in there too. But actually, I can completely recover this container by copying a new user space in. Let me see if I have. I think I wrote a script to do this at some point. Add user space to container. This is my container. Scratch. I didn't use Twitch a lot. I think these bits are from 2 years ago. By the way, I only have one left. I'll keep that at the end of the stream. Okay, friend. Python, what was it? Add user space to container. This is the container, and the user space is Ubuntu. Ubuntu Xenial. So we started with a Bionic container. Let's turn it into Xenial. If the script still works. I don't know if it still works. But it does some magic. Operation not permitted. Why not? Do I have to run this as root? I forget. I don't want to just like sudo this. os.makedev. What does that do? Oh, it's trying to make a device. So let's not. I forget how this stupid script works. It's a VM. What's the worst? We'll just fucking sudo this. What could go wrong? Famous last words. If I can type my password right. Am I going to regret this? So in theory, we should have ls back, and we should have a full working Ubuntu again. Kind of. It looks a little weird. Yeah, so we have a kind of working Xenial. Anthony has left the chat. Wait, can you guys not hear me? My sound is still working. I hope I'm still working. Oh, you were just joking. Okay. Alright, got you. But yeah, look, I've converted a Bionic container into a Xenial container. Oh, weird. This white space is colored yellow. Oh, it was in response to what could go wrong. Got it. Yeah. But yeah, anyway. I armoreft slash and then brought it back from the dead. So, that's the thing. What was I doing? What was I actually working on? Oh, I was gonna try and figure out why wheels are not working properly. Or why eggs are not working properly. With this breakpoint here. Oh, I already had virtualenv. And now I've broken it. That's fine, I can install breakpoints. No module named importlib-resources. That happened? Okay, stop. I'm done. We're dumped. Oh yeah, so a nice trick here. I was doing Control-C and it wasn't exiting. But I can do Control / and that'll send sigquit, which will pour dump the process. And Python doesn't catch sigquit, so it's a nice way to just kill something harder. I actually want to move this breakpoint in here. So that only when this succeeds do I stop into a breakpoint. me, kill all -9 Python. Python becomes a dead snake. Yeah. Yes, that is true. Interesting. So it ends up with this capitalized egginfo directory. What is going? Oh, didn't want to do that. Pretty print it maybe instead. I don't know why it shows this egginfo a million times. Does PDB somewhat work like GDB with a Python shell? Yes, it does. It's a debugger. It has a bunch of useful commands. It comes with the standard distribution, so it's available wherever. There are nicer debuggers for Python. I just don't use them because then I would have to install them. Also, if I use fancier stuff, then I'd have to like describe that for you. But this is how you use it in Python, or if you're in Python 3.7, you can just call breakpoint. Or if you install my package that backports breakpoint, which is future breakpoint, then you can use breakpoint in whatever version of Python you want, including Python 2.7 if you absolutely wanted to. And the way this works is similar to future fstrings. It sticks a little path file which puts this breakpoint function on your path, or on the sys module, and this is almost exactly the same code as the standard lib. I just vendored it and then modified it to work in Python 2. Basically by doing this. But yeah, that's kind of how that works. And this doc has a description of all of the commands that get used. The ones that I use most often are where, down to go up and down stack frames, and up to go up and down stack frames. I don't use this one very often, but it allows you to set a breakpoint after you've already started debugging, so you can set a breakpoint later on. T-break I should probably use, but I don't. I never use it. Clear I also don't use. I also don't use disable and enable, but I could. I just don't really find the reason for it. I also don't use ignore or condition. What is commands? Specify a list of commands for breakpoint number. I don't know what that is. But I'll use step next. Oh, this one's cool. I should use this. I've used return, I'll use continue. I haven't used jump. That one seems kind of sneaky. List will show you the source code. I use that a lot. Haven't used this one. This one I accidentally do all the time, which shows you the arguments. I'll use print and pretty print a lot. And quit. Those are the commands I use. There's a bunch that I don't use, but they're kind of useful. Random question. I want to learn how PyTest can find all unit test functions. Can you point me to anything that might help me? Yes. So the way PyTest does its discovery, I guess I can just show you how it finds unit tests first. So the first part of that is this unit test plugin, so to speak, although it's a first class plugin, so PyTest always includes this. And what it does is it finds classes that are subclasses of unittest.testcase. This is a weird way to do that. Why would they? Why? Has unit test been imported, and is object a subclass of its test case? That's a very weird, like, I kind of get why this is written this way, but it's a very strange way to write that. Like, I would have just imported unit test at the top and not blanket exception. Like, this is probably just accept key error. But anyway, yeah, where's the collection part of it? Unit test case. Oh, so I guess it just goes through the normal collection. Oh, it can also use twisted too. Interesting. But yeah, so the normal PyTest discovery basically loops through all of the files in your tests argument that you pass to it. And anytime it finds a class or a function that matches the naming scheme, it'll feed that into this PyTest PyCollect make item function, which if we search for that in the source, not in the tests, not there. That's the hook spec. Here's where it actually gets run. Or is this where the default one gets run? Oh yeah, this is the default implementation, so that's not what I'm looking for either. Oh, here we go. Make item. By collector. I don't remember how this stuff works. Oh, okay, here's the collect function, which iterates over. Where's the start of the iteration? Oh, it's past a single object. Man, I don't remember. It's been a while since I read this code. But if you want like a simpler discovery mechanism, I'm more familiar with how the one works in this other testing library, because it's very, very short, very simple. This is another like super deprecated testing library called Testify. The reason I know how the discovery works is because I wrote it. But it's passed either like a module or a package. And so what it does is it imports that and then grabs all of the classes out of that module. This testing framework did not support function-based tests, so it only had to look for classes. And then it iterated all sub-modules underneath that and basically did the same work there. And the get test classes from module would basically inspect all the attributes of the module if they are classes. Skip the ones that are only there as import side effects, skip the ones that don't have, or that have double under test set to false, and if they're a instance of testify's test class, then it just returns them, and if they're an instance of unit test.testcase, it wraps them in a special thing. But the magic of that is mostly this packageutil.walk packages that PyTest uses file system traversal instead, because it doesn't actually do real imports. It builds modules manually. But if you want like something similar to that, here's some sample code. Hopefully that helps. If not, ask more and I'll answer more. Closing all the tabs. Emacs stuff. Metadata pathfinder. So I think I need to make either make this detect egg info, or make a separate egg loader thing. Pattern equals dot star if name is none. Otherwise, re dot escape. So it would search for any number of characters and then a dash, then any number of characters. Oh, optionally any number of characters. Then a dot. If I do this, does it fix the tests? Or this? Passed some of the tests. Did we fail? Did we pass any of them before? Let's undo this and see if it... Proper science here. Okay, 5 fail if we do that way. But if we do this, actually, just comment this out. Then we only have 1 failure. So I think that's good. Oh, I see. So we need to change the test to use .egg instead of .wheel. And then I think it's done. I think that was not so hard. Test zip. Oh, that was not what I wanted. Seems good. We just run the whole test suite, probably. Just talks and sit back and let it happen. But we've only been streaming for an hour and a half-ish, or right around 2 hours, so if this works and that's done, then I'll probably move on to something else. I didn't really have any other plans for today, but I can probably find something that something to work on. Oh, this is funny. Can I show this without giving away information? Probably not. I currently work at Lyft, and I had an email in my inbox from an Uber recruiter saying, "Come work at Uber," which is pretty funny after they just IPO'd. NYSE Uber, which they had a not so great IPO day, although Lyft went down after their IPO also, so that was kind of shitty. But they initially priced at $45 a share, but their initial trading actually started at 42. Almost got up to 45, but now is down like at 41, which is Sucks for them. It also sucks for Lyft, though. Can I put both of them side by side? Nasdaq, Lyft. Oh, can't put them side by side. Lyft's price dropped significantly due to Uber's IPO also. In fact, if you line up these with Uber's data, it looks almost the same. But I'm hoping it stops going down because I can't sell my stock right now because I'm still in the lockup period. But such is life, I guess. Alright, we're almost through. We're to Python 3.7 now. This is probably pretty big, but it's could be worse. I'm talking about the size of the virtual envs that are in this talks directory. But we will wait for these tests to run, and then if they all pass, then I guess I'll just push this up, make a PR, and then hopefully I'll be able to roll forward with my pluggy change, assuming this gets released at any reasonable amount of time. Oh, we're running Python 3.8 now. Hopefully that's the last one. I can check what the last one is. Python 3.8, then it runs QA. What does QA do? Runs MyPy, Flake8, and... or just MyPy and Flake8. What is fluffle.flake8? Fluffle.flake8. Oh, it's Barry's Flake8 plugin, I guess. This is a plugin for Flake8 which checks for my particular import style. I see. What is his import style? Non-from imports must come before from imports. Okay, cool. Each one line must separate the block of non-from the block of from. Well, okay. Import exactly one module per non-from line. Okay, cool. Lines in the non-from import block are sorted by length first, then alphabetically. What? So weird. Why would you do that? Oh well. I've never used talks, but I'm curious if it would be good for my test case. I work on a library that is supposed to work with a variety of Qt bindings. Would talks be able to have different environments with the same Python versions but different Qt bindings? Yeah, you should be able to install different stuff that way. Why did QA fail? Oh, probably because I forgot to delete the code. I3.5 cover failed too? But Py3.5 passed. Why not? 98 and 97. 98. Drugs? I didn't change that code? Hopefully not my problem. Oh, I did change this, so I should put this back. Okay, so looking at the change, I added eggs as part of the distribution. I changed this pattern to also search for egg infos. I removed this because nothing was using it. I fixed a typo there. I added test egg, which inherits from test it, but has a different... I hate test inheritance. I hate doing this. I don't like this at all. Because it's super not obvious that this test has a bunch of stuff up here. It's also not obvious that this overrides a test. But whatever, we'll see what the maintainers say. And I fixed this typo here, and then fixed the things that were inside of it. support egg installations. Wait, do I need sign off? We'll add it anyway, in case people want that. Oh, the music stop. Why would you do this, YouTube? Just play music. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I've forked this before. Alexa, play Despacito. Yeah. Yes, I pull request to send project and Travis is still using Alpha 3 instead of Alpha 4. Yeah, Travis is pretty shitty. So I don't know what to tell you. Thank you, Bloodapelson. Bloodapelson. Thank you for the follow. Every follow counts. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I tried though. Yikes. What is going on here? Why is this taking so long? I'm not dropping frames. I have plenty of internet. GitLab is just real slow, I guess. Like a no-op fetch should be instantaneous. I don't know. Anyway. That's that PR. Is there an issue? There's no issue. Oh, am I PRing to the wrong place? Yeah, this is not what I want. GitLab, why would you do that? Oh, GitLab was so clunky. Create merge request. This is what I want. They still have no issues. I don't want to support eggs either, but it's a blocker for using importlib-metadata in PyTest. Pluggy. See, where is my issue? This one. See this for more details. Okay. Requires approval from default. Oh boy, some important people here. There's Brett, who is on the... Why is it fuzzy? Oh, it's blurry on my screen, which is weird. Let's see if I can figure out why. Well, I don't care enough. Brett Cannon, who's on the steering console for Python. Guido, who created Python. Jason, who works on pip. And Barry, who's also on the steering console for Python. So, 3 steering console people can approve this, and a pip maintainer. So, yeah, some high impact people will see this, I guess. Although this isn't my first time contributing to this, so. How do I use GitLab? I'm so bad at using GitLab. At least it's not Bitbucket. Bitbucket, I think, is way more clunky. No pressure. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, I contributed this patch, which got approved by Jericho, Jason. But this was just like a very, very simple fix. But anyway, maybe they will appreciate my cat gifts. Cries in Atlassian. Yeah. Oh, I really dislike Bitbucket. It's so much harder to use. but I don't really like GitLab either. It has too many buttons. Sometimes GitHub has not enough buttons, but GitHub has way too many buttons. But anyway, that's solved. So on to the next one, I guess. This is the one that I worked on stream yesterday. I need to do a bunch of research for this, which is not super interesting, so I'm not going to do that. Someone in chat expressed interest in this one. I'll let them hack on that before I make it happen. I also don't... It's like not super important. This one I want to work on, so I can do that one. And this one is another one that I want to work on. But this one is probably the easiest one to get started. So let me explain this one first. So in Python 2, if I print \N, it will print literally \N. But in Python 3, this becomes a syntax error. And the reason for this is extended Unicode escapes Python 3. I think this was added in 3.5, maybe? Maybe it's called named Unicode escapes? Namesd? Maybe I just put \N. Oh, I'm never gonna find this. Yeah, anyway, here it is. Character names name in the Unicode database. Notes 4. Okay, so it's new in Python 3.3. But anyway. So \N expects this curly brace thing after it. And if it isn't, it's a syntax error. So like if I did... oh, I don't have IRC open. Just gonna grab a name. Create emoji snowman. Oh shit, I didn't copy. Sorry, I'm doing some off-screen stuff. I guess I can show you guys what I'm doing. So there's this emoji and reverse emoji command. And if you reverse emoji, it'll tell you the name of the character. So I could use \N curly brace snowman, and then in Python 3, this will print a snowman. But in Python 2, it prints this literally. Anyway, that's that. But what I want to do is automatically rewrite this as an invalid escape sequence because it doesn't have the curly brace after it. So the way to do that, so pyupgrade already cloned, update to the latest version. What's prune? So this script right here, or git fetch dash prune. So first we'll do what git fetch dash prune is. So git fetch dash prune will fetch the remote and then remove any stale references to remote branches. By default, like Git will keep around every branch that it ever knew about on the remote until you do -- prune. And what prune remote branches is a little script that I wrote. Scratch. What prune remote branches does is it has these three options, which is dry run, remote, and upstream. This is basically like if I fork a repo, I'll have two remotes, or many remotes. And what it does is, Remote upstream. Oh, so this normalizes the remote in the upstream. So if I had like, my normal setup is origin and async as my two Git remotes. Although sometimes I do origin and upstream. It really depends on like what I'm doing. But this figures out which one's the origin, which one's the upstream. In dry run mode, it puts an echo in front of all the commands it's going to run, and then it runs this terrible bash pipeline, which I will explain. So the first thing it does is it fetches all of the remotes and does the get fetch prune like I was talking about before. Then it finds all local branches. No. All remote branches that are merged to the upstream's master branch. This should really do some additional logic to detect the actual upstream, because right now it's just using master. If you had a different default branch that was not master, the script doesn't work. Then it greps the branches from the remote that it's going to delete from. I can get rid of this 999. This is before I knew how cut worked. So this script breaks if you have a branch that has more than 999 slashed components in it. But then it grabs the rest of the branch name and avoids deleting these branch names, master, stage, production, and placeholder. I can get rid of this now. This was shit from Yelp. I can kill these. It also, what is this? Why is it? Oh, it also avoids deleting the head branch, which is denoted by a caret, and then it will delete those from the remote. And then it also deletes all local branches. Basically, it finds everything that is already merged to master and deletes those branches. It's just basically a cleanup script that I run all the time. But anyway, that's what that script is. That's what I run all the time. I have very few aliases, but that's one of the special ones. What are the other ones that I use a lot? GitHub compare is one that I use. So say I had pushed this branch and then I wanted to figure out its remote branch, I would run GitHub compare, and that'll spit out a link that I can click on to create a pull request. This is less useful now that GitHub itself spits out this link. I also have GitHub fork, which let's say let's clone something smaller like palettes, workzoig, vexoig. I can run GitHub fork, and what that'll do is it'll create a fork of that repo if I haven't created it already, and it'll set up a remote that points to my fork of that repo. I use that a lot. GitHub URL. I don't use this one very often at all, but I guess like if I'm in a Git repo and I want to go directly to its repo, I can do that. And there's also git happy merge, which I don't use anymore. But if I were to check out an old version of master to foo, I could do git happy merge origin/master, and that'll say like whether I can merge a branch or not. But if it conflicts, let's see if we can make it conflict. Is it RST? No, Markdown. So if I made a code of conduct file and then did git happy merge origin / master, it would say like there's a conflict and it doesn't merge, and it leaves my working directory the same. So it just does like a dry run of the merge. And all those scripts are in my Scratch directory. So if you want to find those, they're either in the bash or the Python directory. Git happy merge is in the bash directory, but the rest of the other ones are in the Python directory. But anyway, that's what those aliases are. Okay, so let's write some tests for this. Invalid escape. Test fix escape sequences no op. We don't want to do those, although we do want to add one for the don't touch already valid escapes. Python 3.3 plus named Unicode escapes. Does this do what I want? Okay, cool. So it's literally this string in both of them. But we do want an invalid escape sequence down here. Python 2.x allows \n. Python 3.3 plus. This is a syntax error. Oh, I bet that doesn't even tokenize. Oh, it does. Oh wait, no, I didn't do that. Thank you, Zulu Mike 31 for the follow. Every follow counts. If I break this, does this even tokenize? Oh, it does. Okay. Weird. I didn't expect it to. Oops. Interesting. Well, it's good that it tokenizes it, because otherwise it would be broken. I misspelled Python. Where did I misspell Python, Lord Newt Newt? I mean, I did Python 23 here. Oh. Python. Python. No, those are both spelled right. Did I fuck it up here? How did I spell it wrong? That way I can control F. Stream title? Are you serious? Are you saying that I should have capitalized it? I haven't changed the stream title in forever. Thank you, NeoCortex1997 for the follow. Every follow counts. Or are you just trolling me because I didn't capitalize it? Thank you for some interesting content on Twitch. Well, I'm glad you find it interesting. It's not always interesting, but if today's is interesting, well, then more power to you. So I've added two cases here. One of them, it adds an R to this string literal. We end up with a raw string literal here. And in this case, we have one invalid escape and one valid escape, so it should put a backslash in front of this one and leave this one alone. It's spelled Nohoytip. Nohoytip. Wait, you even spelled it backwards wrong, though. Oh, you just randomized the letters. I see. Backwards Python would be not type? No types? But anyway, we should have a couple of failing tests here. Yeah, so it left \N alone, even though it shouldn't have. We gotta fix that. Know thy P. Kind of. Except the TH is switched. I really like this website. It's python.com. It's Python, not Python. Python? Does it change just when I move my mouse, or is it just timed? I think it's just timed. It's pretty good. Do they support HTTPS? No. RIP. It's pretty good though. Okay, so let's see if we can fix some of these tests. Upgrade. I suspect that I have like a capital N somewhere. Only valid in non-byte strings. So I bet if I do this, more of my tests will pass. But now I have this test which is failing. So I need to like break my escape logic somehow. This is tricky. Escape RE is backslash followed by a dot, where this is dot all. With what you started coding people? I'm not sure I understand. What was my first programming language? My first programming language was VB6 or PHP way back in the day. Which was okay, I guess. So I think I'm gonna need this regex eventually to find named Unicode escapes. But we'll find out. Yeah, that was the question. Yeah, so I started in PHP a long time ago. This was one of my first like major projects. Was this IP address finding image website? And the idea being like you could embed this image on your website, and it would show your IP address and did some cool like randomization with images, and I don't know, I learned a lot about like graphics and layout and centering and interesting math there. And also stuff about browsers and such, but oh no, you know my IP address, I'm gonna get hacksorted. But I guess then my next major language after PHP and VB6 was shoot, what was next? Probably Java or JavaScript. I guess I wrote some JavaScript and then some Java at my first internship. I wrote a lot of SQL at that internship, both MS SQL and MySQL, which is weird that it was both, but it happens. Then what? Then I wrote a bunch of C#, which I really liked. I really like C#. I miss that language. I don't get to write in it very often anymore. And what else? What else? In school, I did C and C++, because the University of Michigan basically only does C++ for all of their classes, and so I did a lot of C and C++ there. And then when I joined Yelp in 2012, I joined as a JavaScript developer, but transitioned to a Python developer, and I've been mostly running Python since. I occasionally write some Go. I've written a little bit of Ruby. I really do not like Ruby. I've written like Hello World in like 50 other languages. But I don't know, I spend most of my time running Python nowadays. I don't particularly think Python is a great programming language. It's pretty good. It gets the job done. It's easy to work with. There's a bunch of stuff that I think could be a lot better though. But anyway, that's kind of what I work on. Lord Newt the Destroyer says, I know assembly. Yeah, it's because you wrote it, bud. Unfortunately, I started off with C and was never any good at it. Then I had to use MATLAB. Oh, MATLAB. Oh no. See, our math classes couldn't really afford MATLAB, so we used Maple, which was... Oh boy, Maple was a mess. Thank you, Ronib, for the follow. Every follow counts. Yeah, so we used Maple Story, or I think it was called Maple Story. Or is that a video game? That's a video game. Okay, that's not what I was thinking of. Maple programming language. Yes, this thing. This god-awful thing. So we used Maple instead of MATLAB. But yeah. So are you really experienced with all the stuff? Yes and no. Like, I think I'm pretty good at Python. I used to be really good at JavaScript, although the JavaScript community changes so rapidly that I don't keep up with it as well anymore. I used to be really good at C++, although that has progressed a lot recently as well, so I haven't done that as much either. Thank you, Konik, for the follow. Every follow counts, with a 0 instead of an O. I'm just guessing at the pronunciation. But thank you for the follow. My progression was C++ to C to Pascal. Oh god. Then Java, then Python, then JavaScript, then assembler. I don't know how I feel about writing assembly in 2019. What the fuck is this? Swinging head. Oh, is this, okay. A personal language, I see. Lots and very, very symbol heavy, I see. Where's the like story? Oh, this is your language, I see. Y'all fight over your toy languages. Be otherwise valid escapes. So I can't use my cutesy logic that I was using before, unfortunately. I need to now manually detect if things are valid or invalid. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, this code was so nice before, now it's about to be destroyed. Tested the waters with Haskell, then I promptly got out of that pool. I feel like Haskell is one of those languages where you have to be way more clever than I am to use. And I don't feel like that's a good strat for me. I think Assembly is superior to Python by far. I mean, I could maybe get behind that. I still don't know what a monad is. Yeah, see, I don't either. I'm okay not knowing what a monad is. I'm sure I could explain it if I read a definition, but I don't know. I'm sure I've written monadic programming at some point, but yeah. I once nearly wrote a Python to brainfuck compiler, but lost my code. Those were the pre-GitHub times. Oof. Ugh. Interesting. So I think what I want to do is find all valid escape sequence and then find all invalid escape sequences. Oh, this is annoying. Hey, what's up, outdated version? I haven't seen you in a while. How's your Saturday going? Well, I guess I haven't streamed all that much for a while. Learning Haskell did make me more comfortable with iter tools and func tools, though. That's fair. Oh, what is this? What is this YouTube video you've linked me to? Astonishing reveal. Okay, we can watch this. Astonishing reveal. Monads are in fact burritos. I'm starting a new series to teach you Haskell without the bullshit. Alright, it's only 1 minute, so we can watch
I
this.
don't understand why there is so much fuss about monads, because monads are such a simple concept. So I thought a lot about this. Why
Oh, it's a dog
problems
too.
with
I
monads?
see.
And I think the problem is it's the wrong approach to explaining what a monad is. To finally produce this result. No, I want to split it into pieces, right? I want to chop it into little pieces. So this is where monad comes in. The monad says, well, you can take this gigantic computation, and then when you want to finally compose this stuff, well, then use the monad, right? Whoever came up with this weird, signature, right? And it's not really weird, it comes from this. And then we can go back to Haskell and write them in Haskell.
My Saturday is a-okay. How are you? I'm doing fine. I'm streaming. I am fixing what I thought was a tiny bug, but ends up being a lot more difficult because I essentially have to rewrite how my escape sequence fixer works. I went for a 5-mile run this morning, which went okay, although my legs were super tired because I've been biking a lot recently. Oh man. Alright, we'll watch the first part of this meme video, but we're not gonna watch the whole thing.
¿Cuántos días en total, más o menos?
Más o menos.
De 45 años has podido trabajar un año.
Because I've seen this before.
7 años. 7, por ahí ya más.
Pero
Hasta hoy.
de 45 años, 7 años.
7.
Pero con descansos.
Yo lo primero que entraba a donde me colocaba pedía el día de descanso ya. Y me dice, hago yo. Ha entrado usted y ya está pidiendo el día de descanso.
¿Sí?
I mean, that's basically it. That's basically the best part of this video. But anyway, okay, I need to fix these escape sequences things. So we have this list of all these characters that are valid in an escape sequence. So what do I do here? Like, I basically want to detect all of the valid and invalid escape sequences. I'm gonna build 2 regexes that contain the 2 valid escape patterns. Valid escape byte, sorry. Non-capturing group, I don't need the parenthesis there. Oh, that's ugly. I think that's right though, this mishmash of symbols. Oh, it's so gross though. No, I think I can do this better. There find all that doesn't give me strings. 3 R8 find all. Find iter? Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. For match and escape re dot find iter rest. Okay, so I'll need to fix this here and this down here. Add escape \n. Oh, I need a literal backslash followed by an n. I don't think I need this. Okay, so has valid escapes equals false. Has invalid escapes equals false. If this is the empty set and something would be false, okay. If match.group 1 is equal to n, so this is our special case. And b not in valid escapes. I guess I can. I didn't write a test for that. And b not in valid or actual prefix. So I need to write another test for the byte string case, which I didn't handle yet. So I'll have to handle that eventually. Oh, Milan people are here, right on schedule. The group is n. So if the group is n and if named escape name equals re.compile, a curly race followed by any number of not curly races, or more than one not curly race, and then another curly race. Hey, what's up, Name Thunk? Thank you for the follow. Every follow counts. If dot match rest match dot end. So this should tell me whether or not it is a named escape. Then has valid escapes equals true. I can just say has valid escapes or equals bool this. That's kind of complicated. As invalid escapes equals true. Elif match.group 1 invalid escapes. As valid escapes equals true. Else. I think that fixes that part. I'll need to adjust this fix down here though, I think. Okay, so that test passes now, but I should have other failing. I don't have other failing tests. Oh, I need to do one where it replaces some other. So this is a valid escape and it needs to have an invalid escape. This test should fail, I think. Sweet. Yeah, so it's adding a backslash here even though it's not valid. Copy this to do over, since I know I haven't written a test case for that one either. If the C is equal to N, actually, let's do the most common case first. So if C is invalid escapes, return true. Otherwise, if C is equal to N, if named escape matches, return true, that's valid, otherwise return false. I guess I could return bool this. This could all be combined into return, let's see. C invalid escapes or C is equal to N and yeah, I think this replaces this if statement chunk here. This or this. Otherwise, false. or equals true is just the same as equals true. If is valid escape, match. Hey, what's up, unadmin? How's your Saturday going? I feel like your name is unfamiliar. I haven't seen you around. Or if I have, I've just forgotten. I'm sorry. Let's see if that fixes the tests. Still need to test my byte string. Mother's Day stuffs. I lurk. Oh, I see. There's not enough parentheses here, maybe? Well, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Alright, I need to add a case for this situation. This n is not valid inside of a byte string. He just hit my window. Don't know why. So what's the case that I want to capture here? If it's a byte string and it has a named constant, it should be rewritten, I think. Okay, so it's not being rewritten now, and we need to fix that. Should be an easy fix. Okay, so it's a valid escape if it's in the valid escapes mapping, or it is not a byte string and it is the n escape and there's the curly brace thing after it. And we still fail our test. Oh, I see. It can just become BR. That is true. Cool, I think that works. It's not too bad, I guess. Could even change this to this. I think black would do that. I don't use black, so I don't know whether black would also fuck up all these operators, but fine. I know you like black, B. I like black too, just not enough for me to use it. Well, it's not that I don't like it enough to not use it. That's confusing. There are things that I don't like about it, which is why I don't use it, is the better way to say it. Yeah. Sorry, people at work are pinging me on a Saturday, and I don't understand why. They installed all of Flask just to make a command line script. Which, like, works, but you don't need all of Flask just to make a command line utility. But anyways, I think this is done now, which means, what, it's only been... That only took an hour, so I probably have enough time to do one more thing, too. I should add this to the README. Invalid escape sequences. It's Sunday. It's like just past midnight in your part of the world? I see. Well, it's the weekend either way, and person should not be doing work on a weekend. They are though, for whatever reason. And now I've been added to this thread, so now I gotta unsubscribe, so I stop seeing their Sunday work. They'll ping me again if they need me, hopefully. Oh, they're apparently actually doing like major work this weekend. Yeah, the whole reason that I wanted to do this fix at all is I'm leading a small set of people to upgrade the remaining Python 2 services at Lyft to Python 3, and this is one of the things that our current auto porting scripts do not handle, and so I'm just going to make pyupgrade handle it, and then I can just use pyupgrade to make that work. And so that's why I ran into this, and it was a bit of a head scratcher at work. But fortunately, this fixes it. Rewrite invalid \n escape sequences. Old version. I should upgrade. So there's actually a bug in this version that causes it to not be able to clone some stuff. But it's fixed in the latest version. Also, the latest version added a cool new feature, a new hook type. So the prepare commit message hook is now supported, and was contributed by an outside contributor, which is pretty cool. Alright, so the change here, I took n out of the valid escape sequences. I bet I can simplify this further instead of having all of these constants up here. See if I can make that less. Is byte string equals b. C and escape. gonna put this back again. Or the is byte string and C in so that's a little simpler. So if it's in these escape starts out here, it's valid. Or if it's not a byte string and it's a Unicode, then it's valid. Or if it's not a byte string and it's the N escape and it has this. Okay. I think that's the same. See if the tests agree. Slightly simpler, I guess. Okay, so that's that pull request out of the way. Resolves, which one is it? 140. Assume it'll run the test at some point. What are you doing? There we go. So I'll let that run the test suite and then see what I can do with the other issue. Okay, so this is another one that I want to do. Hey, what's up, Sergey OXFF? How's your Saturday going? That's not what I wanted. This is the other one that I wanted to look at. So one strategy that you can use to make what's called a native string, or native string literal, or I guess that's what I call it, so is to wrap a string literal in the call to stir. And so in Python 2 you'll get stir, and in Python 3 you'll also get stir. And this is useful for dealing with APIs in Python that require the native string type. What is something that requires a native string? Python API which requires... I'm blanking on like all of them right now. These standard library incompatibilities for some examples. The first argument to array.array must be a native platform string. Are you still working on that library that provides backport compatibility for f-strings? Not in this stream, but I did finish up what I was doing in it in the last stream. But there is some stuff that recently got merged into CPython, which would need to get done at some point. So they added a new feature to f-strings, which is a trailing equals sign, which will print out the expression and then its value, which is kind of nifty. Unicorn Dev asks, are you actually using Nano? The answer is yes, I am actually using Nano. Yeah, I'm definitely the noob. I am the nub. But yeah. I don't know why the help is on at the bottom. It's supposed to be off. Oh, I turned it on to show someone something. So people can tell less that I'm using Nano. I changed my bash RC. I changed my prompt for Twitch. And fucking git LFS. I hate when it does this. It just like modifies my git config without asking. Stupid LFS. Why would you do that? But anyway, yeah, I do use Nano. I do know how to use Vim. XGO Truck asks, hello man, what are you making? I'm working on not this. I'm working on this library or this tool called pyupgrade, and the idea behind pyupgrade is it takes code, or it takes Python code, and it reformats it for newer Python versions. So some of the examples that it does are like, this is how you had to write set literals in Python 2.6, but in Python 2.7 and newer, you can use this syntax. Same with set comprehensions, dict comprehensions, format specifiers. It'll replace %style string formatting with .format. It'll fix Unicode literals if you're in Python 3 only mode. It'll fix Unicode, or it'll fix escape sequences, which is one of the patches that I just worked on, was to make the \n escape sequence work correctly. It'll fix incorrectly done is operator when it should have been equal. It'll fix UR escape sequences, which aren't valid in Python 3. It'll fix long literals, octoliterals, a bunch of other stuff. It'll undo 6 usage in Python 3 only mode. And the one that everyone is like super happy about is it'll replace .format calls with f-strings in Python 3.6 plus mode. So it does a bunch of like syntax rewriting stuff, and what I'm working on right now is one like very, very minor feature to that, which is rewriting the stir native literal in Python 3 plus mode to just remove the stir call. And I was working on demonstrating how that works using array.array, which takes a type code. So in Python, so if I were to use this file and have like from future import Unicode literals, and then I made some array, array.array, and the array type is like a low-level thing. Array. No, not. Go away, W3 schools. I want the actual array module. Efficient arrays of numeric values. Yeah, so let's say we had a, I don't know, a double array. New array whose items are restricted by type code. So we made an array that's doubles and 1, 2, 3. In Python 3, this works fine. Python 3 t.py. Show the code. So in Python 3, this works fine because this is the correct string type. But if I were to run this in Python 2, wait, why does it work fine in Python 2 then? Feel lied to. Standard library incompatibilities have changed. The first argument must be a native platform string. That's clearly false because I just showed that it's fine. If I put a U here and then run it with Python 2, yeah, it works fine. Okay. Okay, struct.pack, fine. Why does this work too? What is going on here? Maybe they improved this in later versions of Python 2? I'm very confused. But anyway, there are some cases where you have to... Oh, I guess I could search my code for that. All repos grep stir single quote in Python files. This is like low level stuff. Oh, the import function is a good example. Import OS from list equals trash L equals 0. So this is the function which implements the import statement. And so this will import the OS module. Actually, let's do os.path. This will import the os.path module. If you set fromList to anything, it will return the path module instead of the OS module, which is kind of weird, but that's just how that works. And this says use absolute imports. So in Python 3, man, if I'm wrong about this, I'm gonna be a little salty. So in Python 3 it works. In Python... What? Why? I swore this used to not work. Maybe this is something from Python 2.6 that they fixed in Python 2.7? I guess 2.7.7 is the oldest Python 2.7 that I can get, so we'll try that one. Also, Lucid ships with Python 2.6. I'm so confused why this works. Maybe native modules are different? But what's something that's not a native module? Collections? No idea then. Anyway, there was some reason for that at some point. How long have you been working with Python? I mean, from the time you started until now. Do you know other programming languages? I've been working in Python since about 2012, where I started working in Python for two different reasons. One was working on an autograder for the class I taught at Michigan, and the other was employment at Yelp when I was an intern there, where I started I was hired as a JavaScript developer, but then transitioned more into a full stack and eventually infrastructure engineer. But yeah, I've been, so what, that's what, seven years-ish now? So about 7 years. Do I know other programming languages? Yes, I actually recently went over this on stream, but can quickly go over those again. I started in PHP, did some VB6, I know some Java, I know a lot of JavaScript, I know C, C++, I know C#, which I really, really like. I've written some Go, I've written a little bit of Rust. What else? I've written some low-level assembly a couple times. That's mostly it. If you can count HTML and CSS, then those, I guess, count too. I'm actually surprised that this is not a thing anymore. And I've just been cargo culting this for forever. Weird. Any functional languages? No, unfortunately not. I haven't had time to learn any functional languages. I wrote like Hello World in F# once, but I don't remember any of it. Wow, this Stalker image was a whole gigabyte just to give me Python 2.7? That's ridiculous. There's no reason for that. Where did that grep go? Did I close the tab that it was in? Oh, that's my chatbot. We don't want to kill that. Check built-in literals test. What is that? They're actually... Oh, I see. Yeah, never mind. I know what that is. This is check to make sure that you don't call stir with no parentheses. These ones are all hard to demonstrate. Where's one that's easy for me to demonstrate? No. Here's that cargo call. I swore there was a reason for it, but I can't remember why. Oh, WSGI is a good example. So the interface for writing a web site in Python requires that the environ, which is where it like sources all the headers and stuff from, those are all native strings, which arguably I think it was one of the worst decisions they made in Python 3 is this PEP 3333. They invented a whole new string type, which is mojibake by design. Unicode byte strings. Basically, they decode with Latin 1 and like give you broken strings when really HTTP is a bytes protocol, and so it should have been bytes, and they should have just like made it easy to decode properly. But for whatever reason, they messed that up. I'm pretty sure this is fixed too, which used to be a problem. Let me see if I can reproduce that. Is this still a problem? Of course, it's a problem if I forget a comma. I have a Python 2 virtual? I do. We'll install an old version of set tools, where I know is a problem. Seriously? Am I just like losing my damn mind? What is going on here? This used to be a problem. Maybe older than that version of setup tools? I don't know. all these old hacks don't seem to be relevant anymore. I don't understand why. Ugh, and setting up a WSGI server is so much work. Oh, I know calling type, that one. Surely that one work. So you can dynamically make classes by calling type with bases and a dictionary. So in Python 3, this works fine. Please crash. Yes! Okay. So this is the case where, finally found one. Okay, not crazy. So this is because of Unicode literals that converts this into a Unicode string, and the type constructor crashes on Unicode strings there. But if you wrap this string literal in stir, that'll force it to be a native literal, and so then it'll work in Python 2 and Python 3. That was what I was trying to demonstrate. But in Python 3 only, like if you're no longer supporting Python 2, you can just strip out this stir. And so that's what I wanted to write in pyupgrade, or make that automatic rewrite happen. Native literal rewrite. And I bet my other pull request has passed tests by now, so I can probably merge that. Cool, it has. So I'll at least have something to release. And so here I'll show you what happens when I run. Someone was asking, I forget who. Someone was asking about my prune remote branches script earlier. So this is a case where it'll actually do something useful. Well, it deleted the branch that I had just checked out, but it also deleted this branch, which got merged. So I need to check this branch out again. Let's see. Gotta add a test somewhere in here. I'll probably add it next to the 6 fixer. A lot of things that get fixed for fixed classes. I see. Okay. Test fix native literals. You know what? So there's a couple of no-op cases that I want to just leave alone here. The first will be just like stir calls that have like numbers in them. The other one that I want to leave alone is things that have new lines in them. And the reason for that is it could create a syntax error. Like if we had code that was like this. if we had code that was like this, and we rewrote it to remove the stir call, it would end up looking like this, or something like this. And this would be invalid syntax. I guess what it could do is put the parentheses there. Now that seems more complicated. Especially if it was like this and there was a comma here. So we'd have to remove the comma and the stir. So I'm just going to skip that case. And only rewrite the most basic, this case and probably this case. At least that's going to be my goal. We'll see how that works out. Excuse the newbie question, but why do you use the terminal to write your code? Wouldn't an IDE be technically easier? No, don't need to apologize for the question. You're right. An IDE would be easier. I have occasionally used an IDE on stream, or I guess not an IDE. Visual Studio Code is more of an editor than an IDE. I guess it's kind of an IDE, but I do sometimes use IDEs. I just happen to switch around projects a lot, and so it's faster for me to just stay in the terminal the whole time. Also, I'm like slightly faster at programming in the terminal than I am in an editor. Although I used to use IDEs. Like I used to spend a lot of time in Visual Studio, which I really liked. Visual Studio is amazing. Visual Studio Code is good too. But Visual Studio was like amazing when I wrote C# code. And I spent a bunch of time in Eclipse and IntelliJ. I've heard PyCharm's good. I just don't. So that's why. It's not a good reason, but it is a reason. Microsoft/VS Code. You mean like GNU/VS Code? That would be crazy town. They would never. I would hope they would never license it under GPL. Imagine they license it under GPL v3 and donate it to the Free Software Foundation. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. So these are the cases that I want to handle. So we'll convert stir calling foo to just foo. And we'll convert stir with a multi-line string literal to just multi-line string literal. And we should have 2 passing tests from here and 2 failing tests down here. Of course, I need to actually format this properly. So we have 2 failing tests, which are the ones that do the rewriting. So now we can start actually hanging on this. And the way that pyupgrade mostly works is kind of 2 phases. So the first phase, it uses a library that I wrote called tokenize-rt. Tokenize-rt. And what tokenize-rt does is it tokenizes the source, but in a round-trip fashion, which is where the RT comes from. And so there's this like source to tokens method. If we look at the entry point of pyupgrade, so main is where it enters. These are the options that it takes. It then feeds those options along to this fix file function, and fix file will open it and convert it to Unicode, or fail if it can't. And then it'll run each of the fixers against the text, transforming the text each time. I'm actually meaning at some point to combine these so they don't do as much work in each of them, because each time, each one of these functions both tokenizes and untokenizes the source. So it adds a lot of overhead. If it could only do like one untokenization, it would be faster. But anyway, I haven't gotten to that yet. But then each of these functions do some sort of transformation. So if we look at the fix pi3 plus one, fix pi3 plus, the first thing it does is it parses the AST, then uses an AST visitor to basically find all of the things that need to be rewritten. In this case, these are all of the things that it could rewrite. And if it finds those, then it iterates through the tokenization. So it tokenizes here, iterates in reverse. This is so that it can mutate the tokens while not breaking the loop. Because if you were like going forward and you modified tokens after you, then it wouldn't necessarily line up properly. So it iterates in reverse to avoid that. But anyway, then each of the various rewriters fire if their offsets match. And that's basically how it works. And so in order to add the string fixer, I'm going to need to add something to this visitor, and then add something to this fixing portion. GNU/VS Code, yeah. Have you ever tried the parser module? It is better than dealing with tokens. I don't think the parser module exists in Python 3 anymore. Oh, maybe it does. I have not worked with the parser module. At least not in a while. Nope, haven't worked with it. Python 3 parser. From Python 2.5 onward, it is much more convenient to cut into the abstract syntax tree. I have not used this, but I'm also not interested in learning it right now, but maybe I'll look at it later. CSD keeps things like whitespace that the AST doesn't care about. Yeah, so lib2-3 is a concrete syntax tree. Is lib2-3 based on the parser module? Interesting. But I'll have to check this out. Because last time I used it was in Python 2, and it was like either wildly inaccurate or extremely unhelpful. But maybe I was using it wrong. Yeah, black is based on lib2-3. It uses the it uses actually a fork of lib2-3 to get its job done. So yeah, I'm going to record some state in this class for finding native literals. It should just be finding calls. Where's the call? Visit call. So elif self.node.func. Wait. Is instance node.func ast.name and node.func.id equals stir, and the len of the args is equal to 1, and node.args 0 And the only argument is a string. Sure doesn't take core args, does it? Apparently it can, so I also... oh yeah, of course. I'm passing coding and errors. I need to also make sure it has no keyword arguments.
Here's the truth. So now you can hate me. I don't love you anymore. I don't want to lie.
Oh, how does this work? So I made this library called AST-pretty, which makes it easier to visualize the AST. So it gives you like this nice output. Whereas if you were doing just plain AST, there's this ast.dump function, which gives you this like ugly nonsense, but this is much more readable. Also, it automatically includes like the column and line positions, so it's easier to kind of figure out what's going on. But anyway, AST-pretty is nice. I use it a lot to debug stuff. So this is what it tokenizes this call to. So I'm looking at keywords here. But I also need to look at that in Python 2. So Python 2 has these additional stargs and quargs. I need to make sure that it doesn't have that. Fortunately, I wrote a function for this already. But I should also write tests for this too. Just no op. Yeah, so I want it to not handle or like skip starred args and the encoding argument as well. Literals. Put that at least in alphabetical order. And I'm going to put a breakpoint here just so that we can see that we collect those properly. Okay, so we have our visitor. Cool, so we see that we have found the native literal without offset. Jump ahead. Tuple enumerate tokens. Okay, so we see this at line 1, offset 0, which is this token right here, which is our start token. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted to see. I guess we kind of need to do this same dance here that we have. I think that's all I need. Is that how this works? Yeah. Inline this. Oh wait, it's args bracket 0, not arg 0. Apparently either of them work. Unless this is just wrong. I bet this is just wrong. I should check that. Yeah, I bet this is a typo. So I should write a test case for this also. Byte to int. Hey, what's up, Translistor? Is that a capital I? Transistor? How's it going? How's your Saturday? What was I doing? Where was I gonna put this test? Here's a fine place, I guess. BF0. Yep. Found a bug. It's going pretty well. Args 0. silly little bug there. Code test fixed it. Native. So what I'm working on right now, since I assume you just joined, I'm working on a tool called pyupgrade. And what pyupgrade does is it upgrades old syntax to new syntax. Some of it is just like Python 2 compatible upgrades, and some of it is like burn the bridges with Python 2, like add f strings, do some other stuff like that. And the one that I'm working on right now is there's a way to make native literals, which will always be the type str in both Python 2 and Python 3. And I'm making the py3+ rewrite of this remove the str portion. That's what I'm working on. Thank you, Transistor, for the follow. Every follow counts. Welcome to the stream. I actually just thought of another bug in this code. So I bet if I do this, that I'll end up with a syntax error. Py3+. Oh. It left it alone. I guess it's... Maybe I already thought of this. It's good, I guess. So what I was going to do is inline this, since it's only used in a couple places, or it's only used in one place, so it's kind of an unnecessary constant. And inline these as well. Although that's unrelated to this change, so I'm just going to leave those. Okay, so I should be able to run this now and have it replace stuff. It's probably going to fail my tests right now because it's doing too much, because I didn't make it avoid the new line stuff. Native. Yeah, in fact, this is the one where it's not supposed to be rewriting it, but it is, so that test should fail. All the other ones it skipped though, which is good. So this is where it should replace the string out. I have 0. I see you, Olakex. Yes, I am a noob. That's why I'm using Nano. But cool. Looks like it's replacing this properly. That's good. That one it did. Oh yeah, this is the one test that it did wrong. Because we need to check if any. To end. Continue. Folks, please. Not Nano, it's GNU Nano. Is it actually GNU Nano? It probably is. You're probably right. Nano editor. Yes, it is GNU /Nano. I like that their homepage is styled as if Nano is a thing, like all these keyboard shortcuts. However, the keyboard shortcuts don't work, which like real disappointing. No, we don't need a bookmark for that. But I wish like these keyboard shortcuts actually worked. That would be way better. But alas, they do not. And now why Nano? It's the editor that I learned in school, and well, this is the TLDR. There's a longer explanation on YouTube somewhere. I don't know the link to it. I really need to fill out my description at some point. The TLDR is, I used to use IDEs, and they were great, and they were awesome. And then I went to work from home across the country for a couple weeks over the holidays in 2013, I think. And it was too damn slow to synchronize code across the country, and it was much faster to just use a terminal editor. And so I reverted back to my terminal editor that I had used in college. And then I developed muscle memory over those 2 weeks, and I haven't really looked back since then. I do know how to use Vim. I'm not a complete nub, but I'm just faster in Nano, so I continue to use it. And that's my splains. Yeah, I think this change works. Yeah, so we added a new visitor check here for a name that's a string that only has one argument, and that one argument is a string, and it doesn't have keyword arguments or star args. And then if we found that, then we look for the opening parenthesis, we parse the arguments, and if any of the arguments are a new line, then we skip it. This should probably be I to end, not J. Aren't you annoyed by pressing tab multiple times to make something right indented? Yeah, a little bit, but there is an auto indent setting for Nano. Indent. Yes, there is an auto indent setting, but I found that when it was on, it annoyed me more than when it was off. So I just deal with it. I guess I could try turning it on again. Let's see. Set auto indent. Alright, we'll run with that and see how that goes. Although I don't know that I'm going to write much more code today. I think I'm mostly going to be done. It's not terrible. It works. I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll run with that and see how annoyed I get with it, but it seems fine. Yeah, my configuration is super simple. This sets case sensitive search. This turns off wrapping. This sets my tab size to 4, which actually is kind of annoying because sometimes there's actual tab characters and I can't tell the difference. But that's so rare that I just deal with it. This makes it so tab creates spaces. This does regex space search. This turns off the help at the bottom. Usually there's like things that tell you what to, like the keyboard shortcuts at the bottom, but I've figured them out so I don't do that anymore. Then this is what we were looking at today. Nano added locking, like swap files like Vim has. However, they're super fucking broken, so I've just turned them off. I have unbound the character, or Control J character, which I think used to... actually, I'll show you what it does, because it's really annoying. So if I'm on like a block of text and I do Control J, that's what it does. It just kind of like fucks my shit up. And I would hit that so often on accident that I was just like, never again. Please no. So unbind that. And then I have some syntax highlights that I symlink in. But yeah, that's all my config. Not that much. 740 lines of Emacs config. Nice. I think my vimrc is just as simple. Yeah, it runs Flake 8 on save. That's it. I think I also had this and tab size equals 4, but I don't remember what those look like in Viml, so I've lost those. Also, I check in my NanoRC, but I haven't checked in my vimRC yet, but maybe eventually. Gotta automate my plugin setup and all that shenanigans. But yeah, this is all the code that I needed to write essentially to make a native literal rewrite work. This is a test for a bug that I found while I was looking at this. And these are tests for the 2 cases that I wanted to handle. But that's that. Rewrite native literals in Py3 plus mode. 2 bugs in a stream? I mean, slightly more than 2 bugs, I guess. I mean, did I find 2 bugs? I found a bug and I made 3 features. 3 features? Something like that. Because I did the importlib-metadata feature. I did the \n feature. I guess maybe that was a bug. Something like that. Was it a bug? I forget. Did I mark it as a bug? Is what I'm really asking. No, I marked it as a feature. Yeah, whatever. Pedantics. But yeah, happy to fix all that. But I've been streaming for almost 4 hours, so I'm probably gonna wind this down here. So let me do my spiel. So there's a new thing for me to point out today. Actually, let me make this PR first. Resolves 139. Okay, so if you missed any part of the stream and want to... Shit. If you missed any part of the stream and you want to watch it, they'll be up on YouTube later. Also, if you want to watch any previous streams that I did, they'll all be up there. One that I've been suggesting recently is this Werkzeug memory leak, which is pretty cool. I go into some very low-level details about how Python executes code, and that part was pretty cool. But yeah, if you want to catch any previous streams, they're all up there. When I stream, I announce my streams on Twitter, usually about an hour before. I do have a pretty regular schedule where I will always stream on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Well, I say always, but didn't happen last week because I was at PyCon. But I'll usually announce my streams basically being like, I'll be streaming soon. So that's a thing. There's a new thing that I added recently, which is a Discord for the chat. Stop. So I added a Discord, so if you guys want to, I'll also announce streams, and if you want to like chat with me on Discord, there's now a Discord link for channel. I'm the only person in there, so hopefully you guys will join. But if not, I don't care. But you can chat with me while I'm not streaming there, and I'll also announce streams in there as well. Kind of build a community out of it. Thank you for the one more bit, B. And thank you for the follow, Woozy. Every follow counts. I see you're using Pigeon. Would you like to join the Pigeon Discord server? That seems like almost counterintuitive. Why does Pigeon have a Discord server? But yeah, I'd join that. Satan has joined the server. It's super effective. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'm gonna find someone to raid. Go to Science and Technology and see you guys around.